Hey guys, I've got you down here in my office for our next part of our vlog video series here. Um, Wanted to move out of the workshop a little bit and bring it down to my office where I've kind of been messing around with a couple different things down here. Um, as you can see, I brought one of our 3D printers home from the school, and I've been 3D printing these face masks, these face shields for the healthcare industry. Okay, so there's one other part that gets attached to this. Okay, but this was one of my test pieces, and you hang on these little hooks a transparency. So from an old school overhead projector, you hang a transparency, and it makes a really nice face shield for healthcare workers like nurses and doctors. I'm kind of partnering with SUNY New Paltz and helping them get some of these face shields out to healthcare workers, out to the hospitals. Okay, so I thought I'd take this opportunity and give you guys a little tutorial on how to use the 3D printer and how to set it up. So part of this video is going to be me working at the actual 3D printer, getting that going, and then I'll switch over to a screen capture and show you guys what I'm doing on the screen itself on my laptop to get the printer to work. Okay, so we'll take this time and I'll show you guys how to get this thing going so that when we come back to school, anybody who doesn't necessarily know how to use the 3D printer should be able to refer to this video to understand how it all works. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start the 3D printer by turning it on in the back. The back of the 3D printer, there's a little switch. Okay, now what's really kind of cool with this 3D printer is that there's a series of buttons on the side that we can do a couple different commands with. So the first thing that we need to do, we see that the up box label down here is orange. So the 3D printer is on, but what we need to do is initialize it. So I'm going to hold the lower button down here on the side. It says hold it for a long press. So hold that button down. And there we go. Now we're initializing the 3D printer. Okay, so the 3D printer is initialized. It's ready to go. We could go ahead and start a print right now, but what I like to do is heat the nozzle up and extrude some plastic through just to make sure that it's not clogged and that we've got the nozzle preheated. So what I'll do is if I look at my display up here at the top, my little menu, and it tells me to extrude plastic, I need to hold the middle button on the side for a long press. So what it's going to do now is it's going to heat up and extrude filament through the nozzle. It's going to do that for a minute or so. While that is going on, I usually go over to my computer and get whatever print settings set up that I need to. So at this point, I'm going to switch over to a screen capture to show you guys what's got to happen on the computer. And then we'll come back and we'll see the 3D printer printing one of these face shields. Alright guys, we're here at my computer. I actually have the models in the build plate here on my screen that we're going to need to be able to 3D print these face shields. But I'm going to go ahead and actually delete them off of here just so that I can give you the full tutorial on how to set up the 3D printer. So the first thing that we need to do when we get UpStudio open is we're going to go to Add 3D Model. We're going to select the model that we would like to open. And what you can't see, or it may be difficult to see, is there is my model right there. If this happens to you when you're setting up the 3D printer, more than likely you need to change the units that model is in. So if I right click and I go to Model Properties, I'm going to then edit this to be in inches, and there we go. Now we're at full size. We have one more part to put in here for these face shields. Again, this part is going to do the same thing. I need to change it to inches, and then it'll be full size. Now, I don't like the orientation of these parts, so if I go over here, this X shape is called auto place, and it will orient these parts on the build plate automatically for you in an optimized way. So I've had good luck with this orientation right here. Now, I already did this at the actual machine, but I can control the extrude button from here. I can also initialize the 3D printer from here as well. But when we are ready to print, what we'll end up doing is going into our print menu. Now, all of the settings here I kind of like. I've already got everything fairly well set up. But you guys won't even have to do that, right? This will all be set up for you when you get to the 3D printer at the school. So I'm letting the 3D printer initialize. We're going to go ahead and click extrude one more time just to get that nozzle heated up real nice. And then we'll go ahead and we'll click print. So when I go ahead and click print, it's going to send the file to the printer, and then it'll start printing. I'm going to bring you guys back when the printer is actually in motion, and we'll see if we can get a good print out of this. Alright guys, we're off to the races. It's printing. The print's going to take a little bit over 2 hours, which is longer than what I'd really like, but I've been troubleshooting getting the right print settings to get this thing going for the last few days. So I've made a handful of these so far, and I'm going to keep printing as long as I possibly can. So I will show you guys a picture of one complete as soon as I possibly can. We'll catch you later, guys.